Welcome to the DentiMax Tip of the Week. This week's tip is adding a ledger note to a patient's statement. I get the question a lot from customers, how can I make a note so the patient understands what happened with their insurance on this date of service? Or how can I better explain to the patient why the insurance company denied a procedure? Well, in DentiMax, you can add a ledger note to the patient's account and print it out on their statement if you think the patient might need a little more clarity. We'll start by going to our patient list, choose Mr. Nelson to work with, and go to his ledger. You can see that he's just recently had a few procedures done on 7/23, and for those items, he's got a current balance of $675. Perhaps we were anticipating the insurance company would pay this $75 for the extraction, but you know this insurance company has a waiting period for major services and is not going to cover this implant placement. If you've already discussed that with the patient and just want to add a little note to simply remind Mr. Nelson of that fact, what you would do is add a ledger note before you send him a statement asking for his balance. In order to add a ledger note to the account, like all of the other procedure codes in the DentiMax ledger, it's based off of a line item. So we'll simply select the item we want to attach a note to, and from your options menu, select Add Ledger Note. From here, you have a couple different options of note codes. You could go ahead and just use the note type of note code and type in your statement here for the patient, insurance denied due to waiting period, and just choose to print that out on the statement. Or you can get a little more detailed with what type of note you're creating. Click on your magnifying glass, and what we want to do is create a new code that's going to be an insurance denial code. So right here, I'll just type in INS denial, and my description is insurance denied procedure. The type of code that we are creating is going to be a note code, and we'll simply save our changes. Now if we go back, instead of having a generic note, you can go ahead and choose insurance denied procedure as your note code. We could simply add to this waiting period. If you needed to spell out any further details here in regards to that line item on the ledger for the implant placement, you could go ahead and write your notes here. Just know only this description line is going to show up on the patient's statement. Patient was already made aware that the insurance would not cover implant placement and chose to proceed. That's something that would be helpful for the office to be aware of, that you don't also need to have printed out on the patient's statement. From here, we're going to go ahead and save our changes, and you'll see that that note is now attached to that procedure code item. At this point, we can go ahead and print a walkout statement or any other kind of statement you'd like. And if we scroll down here, you can see the procedure code that was posted, the surgical placement of implant, the check payment, and then any notes associated with that item. Insurance denied procedure due to the waiting period. And then just print it out and hand it off to the patient. You can add as many ledger notes as you would like to a patient's ledger. If you feel like there are certain things that need further explanation, you can also create your own type of note codes. Just keep in mind that there are certain notes that are automatically preset in the system, such as the deductible by choosing the adjust deductible section here, or by posting that deductible when adding a new insurance payment. But some offices will actually break down the reasons for insurance denials and add those in as note codes instead of a generic insurance denial. You may add a code for insurance denial due to frequency or limitations, maximum benefit reached, or perhaps you might add a ledger note that has nothing to do with insurance and is in regards to a payment arrangement that the patient made regarding a specific procedure code. If you have any further questions, as always, feel free to contact DentiMax at 1-800-704-8494. Thank you.